Ron Harris here from MuscleDevelopment.com, wrapping up judging of day 2, the final day here at Chicago Pro, Wings of Strength. Coverage brought to you by High Tech Pharmaceuticals. I'm joined by John Meadows, Mountain Dog 1 on Instagram. My goal is to get him to 250K followers by the end of this interview. He's stuck at 244.
That's a pretty big goal.
Well, you're about 240 ahead of me, bud. So, we had final 4 divisions were looked at today. We had women's bodybuilding, figure, bikini, and of course open men. Okay. We saved the best for last. Women's bodybuilding. Did you check that out at all, John?
I saw the open men.
Okay, so I'll rip right through the other divisions. Women's bodybuilding. I saw it coming down to Alicia Young from Utah, and someone I've never heard of named Andrea Shaw from Maryland. Andrea, little rounder, fuller look to her muscles, wider in the clavicles. I'd probably give it to Andrea, but we'll see what happens. I like them both. Figure, top 3 were definitely Ivana Ivusic from Colorado, originally from some other country, I imagine. Serbia, there you go. Ivana, you know I love you. Okay, Desiree Alphonses and Ashley Lynette Jones all looked amazing. Probably give the nod to Ivana. She's fantastic. Bikini, I believe we had a couple Olympians in this. Hector, can you confirm that? Hector. Yes. Okay. Yes. Yeah, so we had Jennifer Ronzetti and Romina Basualdo, who have both been way up at the Olympia before. They're in contention for the win, as is a new woman from Italy I never saw before today named Francesca Stoico, who's someone was her coach or her boyfriend. I don't know who the guy was, but he was next.
Hector.
No, it wasn't Hector. It was a guy sitting right there, and he was yelling, "Brava, brava." So that must be a good thing in Italian. All right. Open men's bodybuilding.
All right, I actually did watch that.
Okay. Initial impressions. Here was the first call out, and then I'm just going to hand it over to you. So the first call out was, as expected, last year's champ Michael Lockett, Charles Griffin, Czech Republic's Lucas Oslato, new guy from the UK, Samson Dauda, An Yoon from California, Essa Obaid from United Arab Emirates, I believe, and one of my Russian buds, Sergey Kulaev. Yep. Who stood out initially to you, John?
I would say Michael, Charles, and Essa would be with the 3 that grabbed my attention. 3 interesting comparisons, because like with Michael and Charles, you know, they're both a little bit top heavy. They were both in fantastic condition. Yeah. Charles had a little bit more dense back. He had some crazy arms. Michael's got some pretty freaky body parts too. So those two, it's like really interesting. And then I haven't seen Essa in a long time.
Yeah, I mean, he was winning shows. He won this show years ago.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in a long time, and I was really surprised when he came out. He looked really good.
Yeah.
Everything looked
I have to apologize, because on one of the things I said, he just did a show, and I wasn't very impressed with him, and I didn't say he was all finished or wrapped up or anything, but I said, you know, I haven't seen this guy. He doesn't look anything like he used to look, so I didn't have him on my radar.
You're right. You never know with Essa. Essa is a beast, but then sometimes he comes in and he's way off. So he brought it today. I thought he looked fantastic today. Absolutely. Those guys stood out. I would like to have seen Josh in that call out. Obviously, I was kind of falling off my chair. He wasn't in that. Lucas looked like he tried to bring a little rounder, fuller look.
Is this the biggest you've ever seen him?
It's definitely the biggest. I've seen him sharper. It was a different look. He's got kind of some freaky body parts too.
Those legs, his legs are even bigger than I remember.
Real big teardrop, real thick. So that was a little different look for him. It was interesting. Samson, obviously that kid has some great shape.
Yeah.
Great shape. I didn't see him in the first call out, just condition-wise, but great shape, fantastic future. That's a guy I can see doing really well in a couple years. And I thought was really in really good condition for Ann. A little smaller than I've seen him, but he really dialed it in good. His rear double bicep.
Condition, is this the best you've seen Ann? I want to say it is for me.
Probably, yeah. He looked. You can really see it in Ann's rear double bicep. Real nice rear double bicep. Looked like he sacrificed a little bit of size for condition, but it worked for him. So hats off to Ann for dialing it in and getting in really good shape. Who else we had Sergey the Russian. Great structure. I didn't really see him in the first call out. I was a little surprised to see him in that call out. They had him on the end in the first call out, but real good structure. Like structurally, that guy could be like a monster. I'd like to have seen him probably bigger and fuller. Didn't look like he's kind of maximized his structure yet. Tough lineup here, man. Yeah, tough lineup.
I know Josh is your client and everything, but man, this is the best. I've seen him fuller without quite the condition, but most of the time he's just dialed in and shredded. But this was the best combination, because he was fuller than he was at the last couple shows I've seen him, but he still kept the condition. I'm not going to name names, but there's a couple guys in that first call out. I probably would have knocked at least one of those guys out. And
I probably would have knocked 2 or 3 of them out. I thought that's the second call out. Like, there were some really tough guys in that call out.
I mean, this is a deeper show than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
26 open men, which is a pretty big show. Yeah. So the very last call out was just Michael and Charles, as expected. They do that all the time when it's close.
Yeah.
Prediction. No, let's not say prediction.
That's tough.
If you were a judge, I wouldn't want to be a judge with those two, but what would you do?
Oh, man. I would have probably made them do 3 more rounds. Let's see.
Last man standing.
Well, they both are, like I said, they're both a little top heavy. Charles doesn't have the best quads, but he's got amazing arms. He's got an amazing back. Michael's got those amazing delts. Doesn't have the best legs either. Yeah. Man, that's a tough call. They both look so good. I think I'd probably lean with Michael. The reason why is because of his abdominal structure. He's got perfectly plated abs with a little teeny waist. Yeah. And, you can knock him down for his legs, but you can also knock Charles down for his legs, too. Sure. But I don't think either way, no matter which guy wins, those two are neck and neck. I don't see it as a runaway from either one of those two. Hats off to both of those gentlemen. They did a great job. They came in shape. They were both incredibly hard. I was a little worried when Charles came out because it almost didn't look like he had oil on at first. Yeah. And I could tell he was in great shape, right? He's in great shape. And then when he came out at the end, I was like, okay, he looks good now.
Condition-wise, I would give Michael a little bit of a nod over him.
A little bit of a nod. I would, too. Michael looks like that year-round.
I know.
He probably just had a pizza backstage. Michael's a good kid, man. I really like Michael. Yeah. I would probably lean to Michael probably more on the structure of his abdominal wall. Okay. But those two look awesome, man. Charles's arms. I'm sitting there. I'm looking at Charles's arms. Like, man, he's impressive.
I mean, the one thing I see Griffin really getting him on is the back, only because he has much lower lat insertions.
Absolutely.
And that's nothing that he did special for that, obviously.
Charles's back was absolutely better. It's just shaped better. His lower lats go all the way down. Very, very dense, heavy spinal erector development. I feel you on that one. Man, that's a close call.
I mean,
I would hate to judge that.
People rip on the judges all the time and say, these judges are horrible. And let me tell you, that these people have a hell of a job. I would never, ever want to be a pro judge. Sometimes it comes down to something like this where you can't win. Whoever you pick, both of these guys are awesome. Both of these guys are worthy of the win. But we can't have a tie. One of them's got to win. So, geez.
I would like to see him rejudge it tonight.
Well, they will.
I'd like to see those two go neck and neck again tonight to see if one of them can kind of separate.
Well, you know what?
If I was Michael, I would double my pizza to 2 pizzas.
I mean, they don't have much time. The finals start in 2.5 hours, so I don't know what these guys are going to do in that amount of time, how much they're going to change. I guess, who knows? The human body is a weird thing, especially when you get body fat that low and the water that low. Things can change drastically.
Absolutely.
Well, John Meadows, the Mountain Dog One on Instagram, thank you so much for offering your expertise, your opinions. Appreciate it very much.
Absolutely.
We're all fans. You're one of the good guys in the sport. We're very proud to have you as part of this industry.
Thank you.
That'll wrap up judging day 2. This is all going down. It's all going to be over tonight. Day 2 finals, Chicago Pro. Muscular Development coverage brought to you by High Tech Pharmaceuticals. Keep on watching.